I've been away for 10 days due to some family obligations, but now I'm back, and there's quite a bit to catch up on, particularly when it comes to this story. This was actually the biggest story last time I streamed, and is still the biggest story 10 days later, which goes to show you in our very breakneck media cycle, in our insane 24/7 news meta, any story sticking around that long, getting this much attention and retaining it for that long, has something to it. It's held on to people for a while, and this entire idea of the Epstein list has persisted for years. People are committed to this. They want to see it through. And I'm genuinely impressed that Americans with their goldfish memories have actually committed to standing by a moral position on something, that being pedophiles in power must go. Now, will they hold that position consistently should the Epstein client list come out and Donald Trump is very clearly, implicated in it to have committed a crime or to be a co-conspirator? We'll have to see whether or not they keep that energy, but right now they seem quite pissed at the idea, the continuously more likely idea, that Donald Trump could be in these files, could be on the client list, could have gone on the Lolita Express, and perhaps even did some diddling at Little St. James Island. And so, Donald Trump used the Epstein client list as an attack against the Democrats persistently through the election, and for really years before the election season itself. And Republicans, conspiracy theorists, and even just a lot of relatively, invested people really wanted to get answers. And when Trump promised them and claimed it was the Democrats covering them up, people who wanted to know what was going on fell in line and backed Trump, thinking Trump would give answers. Conveniently forgetting that Epstein died in prison while Trump was president. Like, a lot of people forget that fact, but Trump was president when Epstein died in prison. Just saying. And on top of that, they've been very good friends in the past, particularly speaking about their interest in younger women, their mutual interest in younger women. Both parties have spoken on that topic publicly, and both parties have called each other their best friend prior to, I believe, a 2004 falling out where they stopped being friends. Regardless, though, Epstein's activity goes back years. And for a little bit of context, Epstein is like kind of a cryptid. Not just because he's kind of he's been made into a bit of a mythologized at this point, but no one knows exactly how Epstein became Epstein. People know about his early life. It's fairly well documented that he was quite broke for a long time, but then he got into investing into the world of finance and stocks, was so good at it and so successful at it that he ballooned his wealth at a breakneck speed, quickly becoming so good at stock trading, supposedly, that he became a source of attention from the most wealthy and powerful in society, who were like, this guy's really good at finance. I want to talk to him. I want to maybe see if I can hire him to manage my finances, or at least to be a consultant. And that quickly became his job. Yeah, think of Lord Baelish, Peter Baelish from Game of Thrones. That's a really good comparison, KGB. For those that don't know, in Game of Thrones, Peter Baelish is like a very low-tier petty lord at the start of the series. He started as a total bum, but entrepreneured his way up to having enough money that he could buy small properties in big cities. Notably, brothels is what he made. They were high income, cash upfront businesses, right? And so he ended up making quite a lot of wealth. From that wealth and being a lord and owning different properties, that makes you important. He gained really strong relationships, and then he started climbing the social ladder, the ladder of power, and I won't go any further because then I'll spoil Game of Thrones, but that is more or less exactly what Jeffrey Epstein did, and nobody knows how he did it. No one knows where the money came from, because a lot of people can just say, oh, I got rich from stocks, but that's not, that's only like an easy excuse to people that don't understand stocks. You see, for I think like over a decade now, some of the biggest big brains in the world of finance and stock exchange consulting have said that they cannot, for the life of them, find any ripples in the market from the trades and moves that Epstein would have made around the time he made his fortune that would have affected the market as so, because no one can get as wealthy from nothing as he did so fast without it, like, rippling through the market. None of these big Wall Street guys can find any, like, trace of that history. And I think that's interesting. Is that, like, full 100% evidence of the conspiracy that many of those same people have purported that Epstein might be some kind of government asset? I think there was also like a prosecutor in 2005 that was trying to prosecute him on similar child sex abuse charges that was told by someone relatively high up, somewhere higher ranking than him, to drop this case because he is some kind of informant or part of some kind of intelligence, possibly for the United States, maybe for one of the United States allies, and a lot of people have latched onto that one claim to believe that Epstein could be some kind of government asset of maybe Israel or of even the United States. Like I said, there has been so much conspiracy mongering that has come out, and none of it helps Trump. None of it helps him at all. He looks really bad the way he's handled this, and he has no filter. And that lack of a filter has served him well up until this point, but now his supporters are mad at him, and they don't want to hear his classic, go fuck yourselves, you're not real MAGA spiel right now. That's not what they're looking for. They want actual answers. They were promised something, they waited a long time, and there was nothing delivered. I feel much the same in regards to Hightail. I know how they feel. That's an anger they're not going to get over. Anyway, folks, let's go ahead and see how MAGA is responding to all of this, what they have been doing in their call-outs of Trump, because even some of the biggest MAGA bootlickers have been calling Trump out. And it seems like Elon is winning the breakup right now. The big national divorce, the kids are siding with Elon. What can I say? He's got the cooler toys.
The MAGA fault line seems to be widening from a fracture into a Grand Canyon-sized chasm after President Trump called the very MAGA supporters who reelected him stupid and foolish for refusing.
Now, to be fair, Donald Trump did not lie or say anything wrong there. Yeah, that is completely true.
His demand to back off the Epstein files. It was former Trump confidant Elon Musk who dragged conspiracies of an alleged...
I mean, dude.
It was...
Has anyone ridden another man's shit harder than Elon did for Trump during the election? Like, this is a level of glazing that shouldn't even be legal. How did anyone think this was cool? He was slobbering on Trump's knob for 6 months straight, and everyone was like, oh my god, oh, he's so cool. When is the segment of the late night shows now... Wait, when is the segment of the late night shows now being silenced? Oh, yes, that might be a topic I cover later in the streams. I didn't know there was anything fishy behind Stephen Colbert getting canceled, but come to think of it, there might be something to that. I haven't looked into it, I just heard the news, so let's focus on covering this first, though.
Former Trump confidant Elon Musk, who dragged conspiracies of an alleged secret Epstein client list back into the mainstream spotlight. He posted again overnight and reacted to the president's calling it all a hoax, a complete 180 to what he's been suggesting for years. And it is Musk's so-called free speech remake of X that is now feeding the theories and the MAGA divide because of them. Just listen to how some of the most vocal MAGA loyalists are now breaking with the president.
Oh, yeah.
If you talk about this, I'm going to excommunicate you. Well, you're not.
I feel like the people who are still loyal to Trump right now, that are big, like, right-wing pundits, those are the people that you know Trump and Epstein's other co-conspirators have dirt on. Remember, Epstein has dirt. had dirt, and that dirt is somewhere, locked up in a vault probably, the government has, Trump's government has. He apparently had hidden cameras everywhere, and a lot of the sex acts that he committed violating the law and minors, those exist. He recorded that shit, including that of his clients, I guess, and that blackmail should be out there somewhere, locked up in some government safe that Trump doesn't want to get out. I feel like the people who are unwilling to call out Trump right now, those are the people that Epstein had blackmail of. Those are the people terrified their shit's gonna leak. That's my headcanon, okay? It's just my theory. It's just my opinion. Don't sue me.
You're not the Pope, bro. I mean, you're not speaking from the throne ex cathedra.
Why'd they say there was thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible? Why'd they say that?
Right.
Didn't Pam Bond?
Because they lied, Joe. The crazy woke lefties were right. Donald Trump is a serial liar who would say anything to your dumb fucking faces to make you believe in the fantasy world he wove as an idea of what will happen if he wins. You fucking fell for it. You fell for it again, Joe. You fell for it again. You won't admit it because of pride, but you fell for it. You brought the swamp onto your podcast and chuckled it up, talking about how you're going to defeat the establishment. You're going to drain the swamp. And you had no fucking idea. You got completely conned. And meanwhile, the people you were shitting on were warning you the whole time. Listen, I'll admit it takes a pretty big man to admit they were wrong in Joe Rogan's situation. And Joe Rogan may be physically quite large, but on the inside, he does not have much in the way of humility. So, I think he's just going to continue playing dumb.
Bondi say that?
I mean, we're getting flooded with thousands, hundreds of thousands of comments that are very unhappy about this. President Trump was elected primarily to go after the deep state. We want to go after the deep state.
It seems like you think your base is stupid. That's how I feel. I feel like Trump thinks his base is stupid.
Bringing this into the public arena.
Well, that would be one of the smartest things that Trump has ever thought.
Was President Trump. That's a matter of historic record.
Okay, much to discuss. Here with me now, MSNBC's senior enterprise reporter Brandy Zadrozny and former Republican Congressman from Florida, Carlos Curbelo. Guys, we just heard Benny Johnson say it there. Trump himself fueled the Epstein controversy. Brandy, how's the base now reacting to President Trump calling them foolish and stupid for falling into what he said a Democratic hoax?
They are not happy. They are so not happy. I've never seen them like this, actually. The closest I've seen, and some people have even been referencing it, is that they feel like it's when Hillary Clinton called them the basket of deplorables during the campaign. It was really just talking about their character, who they were. And for these MAGA faiths.
That's a good point, but I don't think that's really the core of it. I think that Trump put a lot of his own... This is really like a Sauron situation, okay? Like, the entire Epstein files idea being used to help Trump get into office was like Sauron pouring all of his cruelty, power, and malice into the One Ring. Now, yes, while he has the ring, it enhances his power, magnifies it, and, you know, it allowed him, when he had the ring, to get into office, but now he's lost the ring. It's been cut from his hand, and the weapon has been lost from him, and he's now weakened. And more or less, it's being used against him, right? I'm sorry. I love Lord of the Rings. I had to find a way to worm it in there. I saw the opportunity. I immediately took it. But it is very much like that. Donald Trump put a lot of his own hype, his own power, his own sauce, his own riz into this conspiracy, got his own base foaming at the mouth for more, and then cut them off. He rubbed their shit out, got them right to the edge of climax, and then clamped their nutsack and didn't let them bust. They're not happy. They got blue balls.
Well, they are fighting this ultimate fight between good and evil, behind a deep state, behind a cabal. I mean, these are the sort of ways that the GOP and the MAGA base have sort of formed who they are as a group. And so for Trump now to call them stupid, to call them weaklings, it's just been a real slap in the face. And you see a come to Jesus moment like you just showed. I was watching Alex Jones way too late last night, and I've never
be
seen
doing
this
that.
before. I don't know how you come back from that, and neither do.
If you watch clips of Alex Jones past midnight, he can come into your room while you're sleeping. He might not, but like, it allows him to. It invites him into your home. It's a lot like saying the name of an evil spirit in Native American lore. Don't do that. Don't watch anything with Alex Jones in it after midnight. You've been warned.
These people, I think they're sort of trying to figure out how they can possibly ever trust Trump again. He's done it before. Let's see if he gets out of this somehow. But right now, it's cratered the movement.
I think he's always.
Honestly, if Trump ends up getting away with this with his base, that will truly be the most vindicating moment for Hillary Clinton, I feel. Like, how much more of a basket of deplorables could Trump supporters be than to just say, all right, Trump, we trust you. We don't care about this whole Epstein thing anymore because you told us not to. Good Lord. Now, this is where things get a little more interesting because literally less than an hour ago, we got some breaking news on this topic. Apparently, the Wall Street Journal has dropped an exclusive letter that was supposedly written by Trump to Epstein for his 50th birthday. And they wrote letters back and forth to each other. They were pen pals. They were like little... Yeah, it's very cringe, but prepare yourselves for some pretty interesting dialogue between these two. No, this is the fresh off the presses, folks. This is fresh breaking news 30 minutes ago on the CNN channel.
The Wall Street Journal published a piece with this striking headline. Jeffrey Epstein's friends sent him bawdy letters for a 50th birthday album. One was from Donald Trump. Now, their friendship, you'll recall, went back decades. The article details a moment from 2003 and some of the letters that Epstein's one-time girlfriend and accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell.
You'll notice something. In all these photos of Trump and Epstein together, Trump is in a different outfit every time, and so's Epstein. These are not like, yeah, they met like 3 times, but like people took 50 photos of them at every party. And so now there's like 150 photos of Trump, but they only ever really hung out in public 3 times. No. These are different meetings between Trump and Epstein at different parties where they're both wearing different outfits in each photo. I just want to point that detail out. That stood out to me.
Well, gathered for a birthday tribute album. According to the Wall Street Journal, pages from the album are among documents examined by Justice Department officials who investigated Epstein and Maxwell. The paper, citing people who have reviewed the pages. Here's the passage about then-citizen Trump's letter. Quote, this is from the Wall Street Journal. The letter bearing Trump's name, which was reviewed by the Journal, is bawdy, like others in the album. It contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. A pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breasts, and the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking pubic hair. The letter concludes,
classy. Very classy.
Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. Now, the president's denial. Quoting again from the Wall Street Journal, in an interview with the Journal on Tuesday evening, Trump denied writing the letter or drawing the picture. This is not me. This is a fake thing. It's a fake Wall Street Journal story, he said.
This is not me. It's a fake thing. It's a fake Wall Street Journal story.
Never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women, he said. It's not my language.
I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women. It's not my language. It's not my words.
It's not my words. The president also threatened legal action, saying, quote, I'm going to sue the Wall Street Journal just like I sued everyone else. Joining me now.
I'm going to sue the Wall Street Journal just like I sued everyone else.
Your Trump voice is better these days, Zan. I gotta keep practicing. That's all it is. You know, Every passing week, I'll be a little better at it. I just gotta practice it.
It's all about practice. Not for me, though. I was born with a perfect Trump impression. No one's better than me. Best impressions around.
Now, with analysis and contributor, tech journalist Kara Swisher, host of The Pivot, and on with Kara Swisher podcast. She's also the author of Burn Book, a tech love story. First of all, Kara, your reaction to this Wall Street Journal story?
Well, I think it's just the beginning, actually. It's the first.
I really don't care for this, like, format of news coverage that's very much like the meta these days, where it's like, all right, we've talked about what's relevant in this story. Now we've brought a panelist on that is an expert, trust us, and they're going to talk about their opinion on this. It's like, I guess, but why not just, like, I want Anderson Cooper to, like, commentate on this story and talk about it for a little bit. And, like, maybe not speculate, but, like, you know, give his thoughts, not just try to, like, create a conversation off of it. I don't feel like that's very compelling newscasting. But that's mostly besides the point. This issue has been one of the few cases where I've seen MAGA broadly seeming to turn on Donald Trump. He put a lot of his will, cruelty, and malice into the Epstein story, and now his own weapon is being used against him. And it's not a weapon of the left's making. It's one of his own making. If anything could ever destroy Trump, it would have to be Trump, right? But we'll have to wait and see. Things aren't looking good for him right now. People are getting really iffy on him, and even his immigration policy is getting a little less popular, and that is his most popular policy set, right? Things aren't looking good for Trump these days, but if things aren't looking good for Trump, then things might be looking hopeful for America. Next election, if there is one, could go very differently than this last one did. But hey, if you enjoyed this segment, if you found it entertaining, educational, or enjoyable in any way whatsoever, then please consider leaving a like, a comment, and maybe subscribing to my channel. It really does help a lot. Likes and comments boost my channel, despite it being totally free and only taking half a second. Every single like and comment is a massive help, so I appreciate it from all of you, whether it be on my streams or videos. And of course, subscriptions, you know what those are for. Make sure YouTube tells you when I go live or upload new videos. And don't forget to ring the bell icon as well to turn on all notifications. So, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, you can also follow my social medias, linked down below in the description. I particularly recommend you join my fan Discord, as that's the main hub of my community and my fan base. And on top of that, I host gaming events, call-in streams, watch parties, and movie nights there every Friday, every week, for the most part. Sometimes I miss it, but if you guys don't want to miss anything, that's the place to be. Like I said, linked down below in the description. And of course, finally, if you want to support me directly, financially, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buy some custom Xander Hall merch through the Streamlabs link down below in the description. Regardless of how you support me, though, thank you all so much for watching, as always, and have a good one.